we're talking college basketball, Rob G., the Fab Five, and we did have Jimmy King on earlier, but the Fab Five, legendary basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
They went to their 5 freshmen,
Yep.
went to the national championship game their first year, went back as sophomores, and they took an L in both. We got the legendary Chris Webber timeout. That was the year 1, right?
Yep.
And then they
No, that was year 2.
Year 2. So they were a great basketball team. They were iconic. They changed style in basketball. People traveled around to see them like the Beatles. I mean, they were really big. But as I said earlier with Jimmy King, never even won a Big Ten title, which is shocking, as good as they were, Rob G.
It's always about winning. But that's why we were a little different and a little special in the sense is that we didn't win anything, but we are still remembered as, people who changed the game, who had the opportunity and probably should win. But it also points to how hard it is to win, how difficult it is to win, and the best teams don't always win in college basketball when it's a one-and-done format.
And I hear that. And that's all legitimate by Jimmy King, who is one of the Fab Five.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard to win. I get that. But if you want to be iconic and remembered, now I think when I think of the Fab Five is that they didn't win. I don't think about the big oversized shorts. I don't think about all the other stuff. I think, how did they not win? And here's the thing that it kills me. Well, they were freshmen. Dude, you got to the championship game. And my point is, had they won, you wouldn't go, that doesn't count. They were only freshmen. No, it would be am I right? You would count it. So you can't have it. Like I hear that with LeBron all the time. Well, they got to the finals against the Spurs, but you can't really hold that against them. Would that count had he won?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
so it counts that he lost. And the same thing. The Fab Five, okay, you didn't win your first year, but then the second year you came back, right? A year experience, and you still didn't win. And then the Chris Webber and the timeout and all that people always remember. And when you only had 2 cracks at it, right? I don't look at them and think iconic for the other stuff. I think of they didn't get it done. They didn't finish the deal. They met the girl at the party. They talked. They exchanged numbers. They didn't seal the deal. Can you be iconic without winning? And I think the answer is no. You can be infamous. And that's why we bring up the Buffalo Bills all the time. It ain't about going to 4 straight Super Bowls. It's not.
I couldn't disagree with you but of all the things we've ever talked about. I might disagree with you more on this than just about anything. The fact that they were 5 freshmen, which is common now, that's just normal. Part of it is because of them. That you can, I can have 5 freshmen that can start and ball and get me to a national championship game. That's commonplace now. It wasn't then. That's part of what makes it iconic. The idea that I'm going to play these, they didn't even start as starters in the beginning of the first few games because it was like, this is not what we do. Even though they're kicking us juniors and seniors butt in practice, this just isn't what we do. We can't do that. Then eventually, Steve Fisher said, man, I'm tripping. Do you see these dudes? Get in here and start. Shout out to Rob Pelinka, obviously GM of the Lakers. He was on that team. He had to go to the bench as a senior. Go have a seat. We got this iconic freshman team that's going to do something. You mentioned the style. That matters because it carries to this day. Baggy clothes, the black
People
socks.
People don't wear baggy clothes anymore. They wear the short shorts.
No, baggy's coming back. Give it one more year to be all over. Baggy is back. Have you not seen the pants people wearing right now?
Are you watching the shorts?
Right, I'm saying give it one more year. You know it's coming back.
That went out of style. Everybody was wearing those oversized.
Absolutely. The bald heads, when they all had hair, could have high top fades. They all go bald. They were iconic. They were in music and rap videos. People referenced them. That lasts forever. You don't remember so many teams that actually won the national championship. Now, on a personal level, yes, the guys would have wanted to win. Nobody questions that. We all want to win.
Well, you're saying that it doesn't matter.
No,
so why would they want to? Yes,
it doesn't matter.
You said it doesn't matter.
To be iconic is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
No,
because this
you
team
can be
is
an iconic loser, can you not? Can you be the Buffalo Bills?
They are more iconic, way more iconic than the Buffalo Bills.
No, but I'm asking you. But
what are you asking me?
You could look at somebody and go, the Buffalo. Okay, when you say Buffalo Bills, right?
Right.
They'll get. It's not about getting to something or wearing shorts. You're playing basketball,
Right?
And ultimately, the goal in sports is to win.
But
and
okay,
when you
let me
have
give you an
that
example.
kind of talent,
Hold up. I let you cook. Let me talk. Muhammad Ali, he lost way more than we ever reference. But it was not just because he was beating people. It was what he was doing, how he was saying, what he meant for, what he stood for. It was more than just the actual boxing. Because there are plenty of people who some argue Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. Some people argue Mayweather. That were better boxers, some people can say. It was all the things. And that's what makes you an iconic. Not it's Jordan, but it's the tongue out. It's the winning for sure. It's the shoes. It was the baggy shorts.
No, it's the
all
winning.
that.
Michael Jordan.
Tim Duncan's iconic. Tim Duncan's iconic.
No, but Michael Jordan, you got to mix that because hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
Tim Duncan doesn't have anything other than the winning.
Right.
Okay, so Michael Jordan, you're talking about the shoes, the tongue out, all that other stuff, the pumping of the fist. That all goes with the winning that makes him up
Can I
there.
give you another example?
On college basketball, my thing with the Fab Five is other than baggy shorts and black socks, seriously.
Okay, I will.
What is it?
I will gladly answer that.
Don't tell me about being in rap videos
They
all
were
the time and all
authentically
that
themselves. That you got to remember.
No,
that's
no.
commonplace now, Rob. That wasn't commonplace then. For them to talk the way they talk, for them to have that swag, for them to be and like I said, for rap videos to reference them, that wasn't happening then. That was a movement at the time.
I think that's you because you grew up there.
No, this has nothing to do with it.
I do.
I'll tell you another
really
team that was like
that. I really
that.
do. I think it's because you
I'm going to give you another example. You know who never won anything, but you could argue is top 5 most influential dudes in the NBA? Allen Iverson. He didn't win anything. You can't name but a handful of players who are more iconic than Allen Iverson because it was what he did, what he meant, what he stood for, the good, the bad, the ugly. He was himself, and they were authentically themselves. Young dudes from the inner city who came, they didn't want to play the game.
Yeah, what you're talking about.
And they got to 2 national championships as freshman and sophomore back when that was uncommon for freshmen and sophomores.
My point is to seal the deal to really make your mark in college basketball, to me, is about winning.
I couldn't disagree more. You can't name me 3 to 4 teams that are more impactful than them historically.
Even when you talk about a guy like Christian Laettner, who's one of the greatest college basketball players,
without a doubt,
they won championships at Duke.
And
okay?
They beat the
right. But that's why.
Fab Five.
That's why he's iconic. That's why people consider him one of the all-time greats. I'm saying they missed the boat in really cementing themselves. Other than you're talking about superficial stuff.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the game. They put 3 dudes also in the NBA. One's a Hall of Famer. Juwan Howard played a million years, made all the money, had a really good career. But Jalen Rose. I'm saying this all leads to why they're iconic.
I think that in order to really stamp yourself, just like the coaches we talk about, you gotta be there. You're not playing just to be playing. Had they won.
Then they would be the greatest team ever, up there. I agree. If they won 1 or 2, let's say they went 2-0.
Had they won the first one, people would have been like, "Oh my God!" Now that would have been a story, and that would have been something you would talk about the all-time greatest. When you talk about great college basketball teams, Michigan is not at the top.
Right, but what I'm saying is, Rob,
they're not.
You can't name me but 3 teams that are talked about more in college basketball history, including all the winners. Fab Five's legacy will go infinitely better than 97% of the teams that won. We're going to be talking about Fab Five for the next 50 to 100 years.
You know what I think about when I think about the Fab Five?
You won't mention those Villanova team ever again.
I think about the scandals. I think about all the banners they took down. I think about the non-winning of a Big Ten title.
Nobody thinks about that as much as you are.
I just think about
nobody thinks about it.
That's what
they
it's called.
Think about how good they were, how fun they were.
It's called context.
Right, and the context is you have to remember what they were doing was unprecedented at that time for freshmen. That's a huge part of it.
No, but they got to the championship. It would be different if they never got there. My point is, once you get there, you can win. You got to the championship game. You can't use that as if nobody's a freshman or sophomore got. You got
no,
there.
No, but I'm saying that's what makes them amazing. That's literally why they were called the Fab Five, the Fabulous Five freshmen.
No, to me, that's where I look at them and say, ultimately, were they a success or a failure? They failed. That group failed. You just talked about the 3 guys who went on to the NBA. If you got 3 guys of that level and that ilk, and you can't win a college basketball championship, wow.
It happens. Some of the teams with no NBA dudes win. I mean, or maybe one. That's nature of the beast. But absolutely, this is one of the most iconic teams. Period. I can't even believe that we're debating this right now. I'm looking at all these teams right now who have won a championship. You ain't never gonna mention again a day in your life. 1994 Arkansas.
Because
you ain't about to mention them a day in your life.
For you, winning doesn't seem to matter.
No, winning does matter.
Doesn't. No, winning doesn't matter to you. You're like the extra stuff. I'm talking about being iconic, winning, and where you look back and go. When I think of Derek Jeter and the Yankees and that they won 5 championships. 100%. He made great plays. He was an ultimate great player. When I look at his career, and you can look at right now, Aaron Judge can hit all the home runs he wants. Okay? Wear those pinstripes, MVP, all that. Trust me. People will look at it and say, which guy was the most iconic Yankee? And it would be Derek Jeter 10 times out of 10.
Here's where we differ.
Because he won.
Here's where we differ.
He won. He also played great, but he won.
Here's where we differ. You're making it a singular thing. Winning is iconic. I'm saying absolutely. But I'm also saying there are the rare exceptions where teams or a player is iconic despite. Michael Vick is iconic. Do you remember the Michael Vick era? Michael Vick era was Michael Vick was the thing. Michael Vick was it. More than even teams, guys who won. Michael Vick was who was more iconic, Joe Flacco or Michael Vick? Michael Vick was a thing for about a 6-year period.
Yeah, but the choice, just because you picked I can give you quarterback to win one. Brad Johnson, it's not just that. I said it's a combination of both.
Well, what I'm saying is there are the rare exceptions where you don't have to win. Allen Iverson is enormously iconic, and he ain't win nothing. You can't name me but 3-4 players who are more iconic than AI.